All right, welcome to the channel. We're going to do a little FSD video here on my drive home. So, beautiful day out today. We're going to try to um, go down the interstate, head home, and just talk about the state of full self-driving and Tesla at this point. We forget how great this is. It's been a while since there's been an update, but let's go ahead and just make a quick little video on the drive home, about 28 minutes. I'm going to start from the parking lot here at my work here. Great view of Pikes Peak in front of us, and let's get started from park. Let's go home. So we're going to get rolling here out of the parking lot and start heading down. But just kind of looking at the state of where we are with full self-driving and Tesla itself. Like I said, it's been a while since there's been an update. We're still holding here on version 13.2.8, and I think that's where everybody's kind of at. I know the spring update for Teslas are starting to possibly roll out as well with a few new features, so hopefully we'll be getting a update to FSD at that point as well. But just kind of realizing how good it is, and so that's kind of what we're going to discuss on the drive as we make our way out here. Start heading south here in Colorado Springs. But like I said, just running 13.2.8 still. We can kind of look here. The 8.7 update for the car itself. But let's have a nice little drive home. It's Saturday afternoon at this point. Gorgeous day out today, almost 70 degrees, a little breezy, so not too hot, not too cold. Car should be in good shape for a good drive as we make our way here. So from this point, going west, we're going to get on to the Interstate 25 here in Colorado Springs on this drive home. So like I said, should be a great drive. But just, it's the idea here. I think we've all gotten pretty comfortable, and as we're, channels like mine that make videos on full self-driving with the Teslas, at this point, it's just, how comfortable we basically have gotten with it, and how good FSD really is. Kind of still in this idea a little bit, had this conversation from Dirty Tesla. He just posted a video too about, how we forget how good the software actually really is. To the point where hopefully I don't have to touch anything, no disengagements as we drive down the interstate and go home. But from parking all the way to the house, it should be a pretty smooth drive as we go. So we're on the north end of the city. We're going to head down to the south end of the city to make this drive home. And then I'll head out to my son's soccer game. Should be a good day. But cruising along here, so we're about to turn onto the stop at the light. Good stop. We're at the next light. We'll turn. That's basically the on-ramp bypass / to the interstate, and we'll be rolling. Merge onto the I-25 and head south. But FSD is great. I mean, I've been running it very consistently on my drives every day in terms of, it's about 25 to 30 minutes for me to get to work, to be able to engage it. Kind of like the car drive itself. It's a great little setup that we got going here. But it makes life a little bit more convenient, and I think that's kind of the big thing I think that a lot of people are missing. I think a lot of the the angst and the hatred towards Tesla from a lot of folks, and towards Elon Musk I mean, at least from what I can see, it's starting to hopefully die down a little bit. The idea of why are you targeting people like us? Well, we're looking at a company, maybe Tesla's making some choices here pretty soon about whether or not to allow Musk to continue as CEO. I don't know. I'm trying to get some thumbnails. But just in terms of, I had a device in my hand. This is always a spot right here um, that gets a little slow back there. He turns to 55 up here, so that guy obviously right there, a little impatient, wanted to pass, so he went ahead and passed. Now we're going to get up to 55 miles an hour, but U.S. Air Force Academy in front of us. You can see that on video. Great institution. We are rolling, but anyway, what I was saying is that the idea that people are forgetting in terms of like how good this really is in terms of like the company of Tesla itself and how advanced that they are in terms of making this. Because there's and multiple people ask, especially ones who've probably even driven with me when I run FSD, in terms of like, can other cars do this? Right? There's versions of this in other electric cars or more advanced cars in terms of like the idea of self-driving. Um, but in terms of a consumer car at this point, Tesla stands alone. Other companies have we've talked about this before in terms of whatever, what do you call it, autopilot or auto steer, keeping you in the lane. But the idea that I can go from point A to point B without having to touch anything is not common outside of Tesla in a consumer vehicle at this point, right? So the level that this is at is huge, and that's where I think we're forgetting it, that a lot of people are forgetting and understanding how advanced this actually is. Um, you know, no other consumer car on the market can do what this can do at this point. That's where the consensus needs to fall a little bit. And so you can hate Elon Musk and you can hate Tesla, but in terms of advancement of technology, this is where it's at, in my opinion. But here we are. We're cruising down the interstate, 75 miles an hour, slowing down. We'll probably get over since this lane's a little slow. Got a Tesla coming up on our left. Wonder if they're running full self-driving. I'll try to see if I can see it. Looks exactly like mine. Blue Model Y. They might have been. Who knows? That's kind of what I do as I drive, seeing other Teslas and see if anybody else is running, the full self-driving. And I don't necessarily think I see a lot of it, at this point. But but there are obviously across this country, and Tesla's put out that data of amount of miles that have been driven on full self-driving. Is there I believe the billions at this point. Bump my air down a little bit. It's a little warm. Like I said, beautiful sunny day. Maybe like 3 clouds in the sky. Should have no problems here as we drive. But I'm waiting to see, what's the next version going to be. Or I know what is Tesla, sitting around waiting for. Not, I don't think they're sitting around, but in terms of like what are we trying to do here at this point? In terms of updating versions of full self-driving and not. Because like it's been probably 2.5 months since there's been an update to FSD at this point. That's why I've slowed down making videos. Others have slowed down making videos on it. Um, let's pop out once in a while, like I'm kind of doing right now. Because is there much to show you? I hope you enjoy watching these and watching the drives that I have here daily. But is there a lot to show? Not necessarily right now, because there hasn't been anything that's been new. But that's sort of to a point of where the software is at, because it's actually really, really good. And so does it need to keep getting better right now? It will, obviously, but in terms of like they don't have to keep pushing out so much necessarily. Um, because of where this software currently is sitting. So, there you go, great view of Pikes Peak for you. There, just hit the camera. a view you can't beat right there. Attention, so obviously it's the run. Attention saw me with my phone in my hand. Takes off attention monitoring. Saw me hit the steering wheel a couple times, but it was funny. The other night I was driving right through here. Posted this on X. Quick little dash cam shot. About I think it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and a deer jumped out in front of me. And this is where I'm talking. FSD was able to. I didn't necessarily see it until I felt the car pull back and slow down a little bit to allow that deer to go. Right. So the car. So there's where your technological, because that could have been a bad situation. I'm going 70 miles an hour down an interstate, would have hit that deer, would have messed up my whole car. Right. But running full self driving, it saw it before I saw it. It slowed down. Deer darted out. Um, Maybe I'll try to overlay that video onto this so you can see that. But I did post that on X. But it gives you an idea of how advanced this car actually is. Right? Could have saved me a lot of time, money, slash whatever to my car if I had hit that. And I think it was actually going across the interstate to go to another deer as well that had already gotten hit, probably a dead deer on the side of the road. So, but I'll throw that on if I hadn't already. But slowing down for traffic here. Shouldn't get too much traffic right here. I know this is you know, if you watch my videos, you've seen this drive. In terms of the interstate here, there's a little bit of construction, but it's Saturday at 12:40 in the afternoon. I don't think we're going to get hit with a lot here, but it slowed down enough like it was. But got over going around all this, or going around these cars. But I'm just cruising along. Haven't had to disengage at all. I had to touch the wheel because I put my phone in my hand and I had to apply slight force. So I mean, in terms of that, but I haven't touched the wheel at all. And I'm sure it's not going to get me off where I want to go. So we're going to get off. I got to add a quick little stop, so I force it to get off the interstate where I want it to. Oh, no. Oh, shoot. I have no clue where I'm going right now. I just added a stop that I did not want to add. And now I just messed that up. Now we're not even going home. There we go. See? Oop. Slowing down right here for a little bit of the traffic. Like I said, this is about the spot where the construction is, so it looks like we are going to have a little bit of a slowdown. This is how I get myself off on the exit I want to get off. And then I get rid of that. Unless I do want to stop at McDonald's. I do have some points. I could. It is lunchtime. I probably won't. Right, so a little slowdown here on the interstate, so it's able to take care of that. And even to a point, as I'm, you know, it doesn't like that I'm touching my screen, and it takes the attention monitoring off. But I'm still able to type in what I need to type in while the car is paying attention for me, which is good. So hit a little Saturday afternoon rush hour traffic here on I-25 in Colorado Springs. But we'll be out of this pretty quick here. Hopefully one day they'll finish this and we won't have this issue. But we'll see. Apply slight force. Right, the lane swerve a little bit up here. It's not terrible. But if you don't know, if you're the first time watching the video, I drive a 2024 Tesla Model Y, blue colored one, if you're curious about that. Got this right before probably the refresh came out. So I'm coming up on my year here pretty soon, probably in about 10 days. I've had this car for almost a year, so I'll probably be do a little drive with a year review of what I really think about the car. Um, so I think it was May 14th last year is when I took delivery of this car. It's been great this past year. So I'll have more about that in another video as we approach the year anniversary of having this car. My first Tesla ever. I've always been a big fan of Tesla and what they've been doing and, gearing up to try to get one. I got this one when they were offering last year the 0.9% financing on like Model Ys, and it might have been Model 3, I can't remember. But I know for sure Model Ys. Had just gotten or was going to be starting a new job up north, a lot further drive for me every day to work. So the wife was the one that convinced me to, said, why not? Just let's go look, right? Test drove a Model Y, liked it, said, let's order one. Got it like a week later. And that's, like I said, coming up on the year of having that. And, I've already put about 17,000 miles on it, driving, whether, from home to work and then just doing it. Like I said, this becomes the more convenient car for us and our family. That way we're not wasting gas and those types of things. So that's why we put a little bit more miles on it. Right? I'm going to get home, get the kid ready, go to soccer. We'll take this car. My wife just drives her internal combustion gas car, ICE car to work. Typically, that's about it. So if we're going together, we take this car. Right? So we'll put a little bit more miles on it because of that, but that's okay. But that's the whole point. I had to touch a gas pump. Here's a little story for you as we're driving. I hadn't touched a gas pump in almost a year, but I still got a gas lawnmower. So last week, I believe, I needed to start cutting the grass. Right as springtime is hit, watering the grass getting, start doing that. I had to go fill up my little gas tank. I need to probably get an electric mower, battery powered one or whatever. That'll be coming eventually, but so I drove this car to the gas station. Was waiting to see if I got any looks or anything like that, right? Obviously, people, like, why is there a Tesla at a gas station? But I was only there for probably 2 minutes filling that little gas tank up. That gets me through the summer typically when it comes to mowing the grass. So that was fun, but that was the first time I touched an actual gas pump in almost a year at that point. Because I haven't even had to be with my wife when she needed to fill up her car or anything. She does that when I'm at work. So that was my first trip to the gas station in a long time. So fun little story for you. About a couple miles, we're get off here, get off the interstate, start heading towards the house. I should pass the Tesla service center here in Colorado Springs as well. If you're in town, go give them a high five. The people that work there, they do a great job. At least the one time I've been there, picking up this car, the guy was very nice. But they've been through a lot with all these weird protests and people who all of a sudden feel like they need to hate a company and being, bad people towards good people that are just trying to make a living at work. Like, come on. So, but yeah, the Tesla service center here in the city is in this area we call Motor City. So tons of probably 15 different car dealerships that are in this part of the part of town. So if you're ever looking for a car and you're in Colorado Springs, hit up Motor City. My little plug for it. We should be getting over to get off here. See, these are those moments right here where I would have probably already gotten over. I don't know. There we go. I mean, it's still under a half a mile to go, but I would have gone over. I don't know. But yeah, just right past this, here at the sign to the thing, or to the off ramp here, excuse me, is the Tesla Service Center for Colorado Springs, in that gray building right there. Like I said, when I had my son in the car, I was looking to see how many Cybertrucks they have sitting on the lot. I see about 3 or 4. Get him very into the Cybertruck. Thinks I should get one. We actually need to get over. There we go. If we're gonna go that way, sometimes I get in that lane and then turn and go around. Sometimes, but the light's green, so. But we gotta stop now. That's okay. Let's see here. I'm looking to see. There's a homeless guy standing here, so I'm trying to see if I have anything I can get him. I don't think I do here in the car right now. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I don't think I have any spare change or anything in the car to give him, because I like to take care of people if I can. So, excuse me, that's what I was doing. Like this area right here, about what they call I-25 in South Nevada, has a lot of homeless. So I have something, I usually try to give them something. But did not look like I had anything today. There's a cool car. Well, I don't even know what they call those. Good day to drive it. It said 72 degrees out, sunny. Beautiful day. But we should be going here. Lights turning. We'll go up here. They just kind of redid this whole like area. I mean, that's why there's still cones right here. So I don't know if I've actually had FSD go through this right here, because these two lanes to turn are fairly new. Because sometimes I usually take over because I don't want to go that way, or I want to go this way, or whatever it is. So I don't even think I've let this do its thing, honestly. But it did great. So kind of a like sort of new traffic pattern. So the idea then too that the car can even see that new traffic pattern. I need to take out the stop to McDonald's, because that's not where we're going anymore. Because what it usually wants me to do is keep going down the interstate and go to a different exit to get off. I like coming out this way, partly because it's less miles, same amount of time. The road's a little messed up. Hopefully they're supposed to be repaving this whole entire road here, this whole stretch, which will be good. But a lot of stoplights on this route too, so good way to come to kind of test out the software. Pedestrian traffic as well, so that's why I like to come this way, especially if I'm filming videos. Because everybody usually, if I'm a car in front of me, you usually would want to turn right here because there's Chick-fil-A, very popular. We all know that. That's why the drive-through line's super long. I just saw. But we just got a Snarps, so that's exciting. It's a little Denver-based kind of sandwich shop. I haven't been there yet. I need to get there. Maybe I'll go tomorrow. Get a sandwich for lunch. Air's kicking on harder, so it's getting a little warmer. Which is good. Yeah, this is very potholy and bumpy. I've talked about this many times. This car's pulling out in front of us. Great job. But yeah, they're supposed to be like from the interstate all the way down to the Army installation, Fort Carson. Supposed to be tearing this up and repaving this, which would be good, because it's been they're trying to revitalize this part of what they call South Nevada. Used to have still has some rundown motels, probably a lot of drug traffic, but they're trying to bring in a lot of businesses and stuff to revitalize it. So I was like, when you're going to do that, you need to fix the roads. So that's what they're supposed to be doing. There are potholes everywhere, right there. So, again, pothole avoidance. That's my dream for FSD. I've said that probably, I don't know how many times in any video I do. Colorado specifically is notorious for potholes, just the way the ground is and the weather and all those types of things. But man, I need FSD to have pothole avoidance, especially some big ones. So I hit one a few weeks ago that I was like, oof. But just, do what I would do, kind of swerve around and try to get around them. I don't know. Let that car merge and more potholes. It actually kind of got over a little bit on that one. Felt like it did. Maybe it didn't. Maybe that's just my hopefulness. That's what I'm thinking. But about 5 minutes till we get to where we need to be, which is home. But yeah, people come in here like, how does the car see how knows all the other cars? I'm like, there's cameras everywhere, guys. Come on. It's not rocket science. Maybe it is though. I don't know. Well, SpaceX engineers are working on Tesla full self driving. It's possible. Sorry, put a little chapstick on, like lips been out in the sun. That's a Colorado thing too. If you don't know, if you ever come to Colorado, especially if you go into the mountains, use chapstick, especially if it's sunny. So it's just gonna eat away at your lips from dry and from altitude and all of a sudden. A bunch of people out on the golf course over here today. Again, great day for it. 74 and sunny. About half a mile, we'll get off this road and into the neighborhood. But yeah, so anyways, we're kind of like closing this out, but just the idea, right? You forget how good this is. Simple drives. I haven't had to do anything, um, to take over the car or anything from starting, almost 20 or 25, 30, to 30 minutes ago, getting all the way to this point. I mean, there isn't much I had to do. Like I said, I think we're taking it for granted at this point as we're waiting for updates to come in. But FSD knows what it's doing at this point. It's apparently I just lost the attention thing there. I must have been looking away where my hat is. If you have a hat, it blocks the camera as well. See if I can get it back and maybe because I think it actually even says that a hat is obscuring its view. Because if you don't know, as we're ending here, this is the camera that's kind of watching you to make sure you're paying attention, that you haven't fallen asleep yet during this supervised FSD, right? Because it's still supervised. You haven't fallen asleep or anything like that, or died. I don't know, as you're driving, so the car would, do what it needed to do. And we made it into the neighborhood, so to make this turn, we'll kind of end, and that's where we'll be. But thanks for coming along for the ride, and new updates come out anytime soon. We'll jump on, but like I said, here in a little bit, coming up on my 1 year anniversary, I'll make a video talking about my 1 year review or thoughts about the car, and go from there. But at this point, thanks for coming along. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.